Good day, my loves. Good day, good day, good day. Listen, I had to throw this on top of my head because my head is sticking on top of my head. It is 6:54 in the a.m. and of course my cat is up, so I'm up. And I am currently making up my bed. Let's see if we can adjust some of the light. Okay. That's a little better. I'm currently making up my bed, right? Which I do every morning now. I didn't used to. I didn't used to subscribe to that. And it's funny because my great niece asked me my opinion on the importance of making up your bed, but she was doing a homework assignment. Good day, my loves. Good day, my loves. I know I just get started. I just get in. But this is Spiritually Savage. It's so early in the a.m. This is just with a positive message to help you along with your journey. As I learn, I teach, and it's like, anywho, I was sitting here making up my bed, and I was going over the events of the other 2 days ago, and in order to know and a thought came to me, so let me just go from there. A thought came to me. It didn't come to me, it was a download, okay? So when I say come to me, please know that I know this is no ego talking. Look at my other videos and it will show you that I used to think it was me, but now I know that it's not me. So I'm learning to change my lingo, for it to evolve. But I know it's not me. And if you're on this path, then you know it's not you either, okay? And so I know a year ago, hold on, my cat is scratching. Oops. Come on, baby. Come on. Are you coming in? Thank you. I turned the fan off too. Um, but I was sitting here thinking, and the devil actually wins when we feel guilt about things that we do. And the house is still asleep, so that's why I'm talking low, guys. Um, the devil wins when we feel guilt about the things that we do. Now, guilt is a good thing because it keeps us from doing extreme things, and it allows us to make amends, right? But guilt is not good when you're on a path of healing because it's the way that the devil keeps you stuck. In my last video, I said you can't feel guilt and you can't feel bad about the things that you didn't know you needed to know in order to make better and wiser decisions for yourself. You didn't know. And if you're on this spiritual path, you have come to the understanding that your thoughts are not your own, okay? They're not your own. You've been conditioned to think a certain kind of way. And then there's a thing called black magic, which allows people to project their energy onto you. And if someone has negative karma that they have to pay and that they know they have to pay, because karma is a real thing. Karma is not a bitch. Karma is justice. Karma is only considered a bitch when someone is receiving justice due karma for something that they've done or said. Like, I would be remiss, I would be an idiot to blame karma for me feeling like a weed fiend right now. You understand? That's not karma. That's not no one throwing black. Well, someone is, definitely. But they're not They're not throwing it at me for me to feel that way. I threw that energy out there years ago, y'all. I was a teenager when I said it. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you still will reap what you sow. And that doesn't mean just in deeds, that means in speech as well, right? That means in spoken word, that means in written word, that means in your thoughts. Okay? So this is my karmic justice for even saying that to someone. This is their karmic justice. And I get that. So this is my family's just due, since I called them crackheads for a lot of their lives. And now they see me asking for it, because I don't have the money to buy it, right? So they see me asking for it, and I'm okay with that. Okay. But I was sitting here cleaning up my bed, and that thought came to me about God doesn't want you to feel guilty about what you're feeling, because you're learning from this process. So you have to sit still and learn about yourself and about others. Because once you learn about yourself, you'll have a clear perception of what others are going through, especially in their behavior and how they talk. You'll know. That's where the compassion will come in at, right? But as I'm cleaning up my bed, I was thinking about the scenario from 2 days ago, and I was so grateful. Like, I woke up praising this morning. The moment I opened my eyes, I woke up praising my baby stretcher. I woke up praising. I woke up being thankful. I named 10 things that I was thankful for, and then I just kept going. But I was so thankful for discernment. I was so thankful for discernment, because I am learning this process. There is grace. So I am protected, and so are you. So no matter what mistakes you feel you have made, you are protected as you are growing in your power, as you are growing into the being that God wants you to be. You are growing. So give yourself some slack. But I'm telling y'all, if you don't hear nothing else I say in none of these 300 some videos, in order to be able to discern, you're going to have to sit completely still to know what voice is yours and what voice is not yours. Because I had another thought. So as I came back, I wrote it in my journal, and I don't know if I told y'all this part in my video, but so these are just pieces that I'm picking up on as I'm going back and watching, right? And so when I discerned the spirits that I was around that was, giving me heart palpitations, I came to my room and I shoved some crystals. Like, I was saying prayers as I was doing it, and I was praying to God and my ancestors and my spiritual guides, and I was praying. And I was putting the crystals in my turban, in my head wrap. And I said, let me learn and let me see the unseen. Let me know what's hidden. I wanna know. I was excited though, because I was like, this it. I don't know what's it, but I felt that. But as I was in my room and I was walking out my room, I felt the urge to go and get my tarot card. Okay. I paused for a second, just for maybe a millisecond. And I kept walking like I didn't even, it was just a little stutter when I walked. And then the thought popped in my head to go get him. But it wasn't a thought like, go get him so you can see what's going on. It was a thought, go get them so I can see them. I don't need to see them. And so I knew instantly what had happened because there's only been one other time that I have shuffled my tarot cards in front of family. Like everybody knows I have. I used to have a shelf full of them, but now I only have 2.5 decks. Which I don't even use. I use them to feel my energy so I can. Anywho, that's not the point. The point is that I knew because I was still enough and I was aware enough that that thought that wanted me to bring my tarot cards into the garage with people was not my own. It wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. And the thought that I had when I realized it wasn't mine was, I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. Seriously. And that was my 15-year-old self. My 15-year-old self was like, I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. And I went on about my merry business and didn't even bring them. But then that led me to be more grateful and thankful. Because if I hadn't sat still enough, I wouldn't have discerned those two thoughts. One, not mine, and the other one was my authentic voice. Sit still, my loves. Please sit still. That means absolutely doing nothing, and it's going to be so difficult at first. It's going to be so hard. It's going to feel like you have ants and stuff crawling on your body because you're going to want to get up and do something. Listen, I've been on this journey aware and consciously for 3 years. Really, since 2019, when God sat me down after I got fired from my job. And it was a lie, which is why I was able to collect unemployment. So, I didn't look at it as if it was a bad thing because I knew God had a plan. I did. I recognized that I had been through this cycle before. I recognized it. So I submitted to that moment in that time and allowed myself to be sat down, but I still wasn't sitting still because I still had my car. And that would continue until I realized I was killing myself driving Lyft to pay for a car and insurance that was damn near like $900. Well, yeah, about that. So I came to God and had an executive decision made to give it up, and I turned it in. I had been through that cycle before, but the first time I went through that cycle, I didn't handle it properly. So this time, I put my big girl panties on and I handled it. But I still wasn't sitting still. The karmic was coming to pick me up and bringing me to her house, all the while stealing my gifts and gaslighting me, all the while talking bad behind my back to people she introduced me to that told me in so many words that she was talking about me, and for me to keep my head up and to keep doing what God wanted me to do. I wasn't sitting still. I had the karmic picking me up, trying to get me hooked up on drugs. Yeah. I still wasn't sitting still because I wasn't comfortable in the space that I was in. So every chance I got, if she was like, I'm coming to get you, I was like, yeah, not feeling the energy that I was feeling from her. Because I thought it was me. I was feeling it, but I wasn't feeling it. I was feeling it and assuming it was my energy, but it wasn't mine. Yeah. Then I sat still. I had no more escapes. So it wasn't that I did it intentionally, which I'll know now what to do moving forward. But I didn't do it intentionally. God had to take me through a step by step process because I really didn't understand, overstand, or even understand what sit still meant. But you have to also take into consideration, and this is where I have compassion for myself, is that I've never sat still in my entire life, not even as a baby. My mama said I ran and never walked. So this was a lesson, not just for me, but so I can give it to you. When God says sit still, when things start falling apart in your life, you must understand that it is not always a negative connotation or the devil, okay? It's not always the devil. Sometimes it's God that may allow the devil to destroy some things in your life. Remember, the devil works for God too. The devil can't do nothing without God's permission. Nothing, 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 nothing. Can't do anything. Everybody is under God's jurisdiction, the Most High, the Creator. Everybody, even the devil, even those with negative energy. Yeah. Some of them are not of God, meaning they are of the devil, but they are still under God's jurisdiction, right? Yeah, absolutely. But this message is to sit still, my loves. Oh, you gotta sit still. There is a time coming in this history of this planet. And I am so grateful and thankful that God forced me, because that's basically what He had to do. That's what God had to do. That's what she had to do. They had to force me. And it probably took my whole spiritual team to do it because I'm such a go get it type person, which has my family confused. They think I fell off. They don't realize I fell on. And so that is a message for you as well, because when you go with God, you are going to be called to do some things that is not going to appear to be normal. Your family's going to think you're weird. Their family's going to think like, they're going to think you fell off. Basically, they're going to feel like you dropped your basket. They're going to feel like you done lost your marbles. The elevator don't go all the way to the top. And right now, it is going to the top at a slow pace. When I'm ready, God will open up the door. And that's one of the things that we were never taught to do, is wait for nature. Wait for the natural order. God is the natural order. And in the meantime, we do what we can to better ourselves. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But I had that thought, and I know how difficult it was for me to sit still. Because I'm sitting here thinking, it took for me to go through all of that to even be able to discern what happened that day. Remember, I told you my goal is to hear God and move at the same time. I heard and I moved, but there still was a lag. And that's okay because I'm learning and I'm growing. As long as I can grow, I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that. As long as I'm not stagnant, I'm okay with that. Like if I would have missed that whole day, then I would have been real irritated because that would have meant that I didn't learn anything on this journey. I did. I learned a lot. I didn't fail myself. And that's ultimately my goal. I never want to fail God, but I'm not perfect. So any given day I can fail God, right? But I don't want to fail myself. I strive for perfection for God. And in that, I won't fail myself. I did not fail myself. And I had to say it again because I felt somebody's energy trying to creep up in me, trying to send me fear. But I have no fear. I have no fear. None. I fear retribution from God if I don't follow what God tells me to do and what my ancestors manifested me to do. I feel retribution in that, but not from no man, person, animal walking this earth. And as I grow stronger, and the more I learn, I become more powerful because no one can take your knowledge away. They can take your house away, they can take your car away, they can take your clothes away, your money, your jewelry. They can take all that away. But they can never take me away again. And that is the lesson that God will have all of us learn at some point in time in our lives. You will be stripped. You will be stripped. Especially if you're like me. And it's not that you're hard headed, even though that's what you grew up hearing. You just have strong opinions and you have a mind of your own. But you've been taught and raised to ignore your intuition, which is the mind of God. And so sometimes, in order for God to bring us back, He has to shake us up. Our mother has to shake us up. The divine, the creator, the most high, whatever you name, the highest power. There is a higher power. There is a higher power. Elohim, whoever you want to name, whatever. Okay. Sit still, my loves. Sit still, okay? Namaste, Ashe, Mazel Tov.